All right, hello everyone. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this video finds you. I hope that it finds you well. I am sending out my second video of the year. If you guys remember back in the fall, late October, I sent out our first fall advisory digital meeting. Got some good verbal feedback from great stakeholders like you that I'm involving in this process, inviting into this process. And just looking for, again, your feedback and just your continued support, as you guys have just been so overwhelmingly awesome and supportive and informative. Again, part of the process of this council, this team, is to get a glimpse, and more than that, but have more of a stake into Peet School Counseling Program, but also be more aware of the behind the scenes work that you might not also be aware of or see. But again, also trying to do this meeting digitally, that we are informing you, but we are able to do so in a space that's convenient for you, that works for you, that's not taking you away from family or outside school commitments as well. So again, I appreciate your time in viewing this. This is our second and last video for this school year, and so I have some exciting stuff to go through today. We're going to go ahead and start this presentation. As you guys saw with the email that I sent with this, if you guys remember from the email that I sent back in the fall, I am inviting you kind of into this process to get this glimpse, to have this stake in our school counseling program. Also, this is a great place to provide that feedback. For today's meeting, let me go ahead and get this in presentation mode here. I want to kind of start, again, I kind of already did my introduction, but then also wanted to go through the advisory council purpose, which I kind of did a little bit. And if you remember back from the fall, again, this is kind of a great way for you to get more information and for us to get more information from you. And so we really appreciate your help with that and your time. From the fall recap, if you guys remember some of the things that we went over, or some of those foundation pieces, if you remember our national model emblem, our graphic, we went through the vision, mission, and belief statements. We also went through our 3 program goals that I will update you all on in this presentation. We also are or did in the fall go through some of our junior high curriculum that is shared and becoming more aligned with homes. So you can see that curriculum piece is jumping a little bit to the delivery system on the right. We also showed you kind of a big scope, big picture look at our calendar, which is more of the management piece. Now that we've gotten farther into the school year, it's crazy how many of those things are now behind us instead of ahead of us. I also gave you more information on the ASCA national model in general. Again, our national model, the ASCA American School Counselor Association, that's what it stands for. But I also went over the components of RAMP, why ramping, what's the purpose of it, why it's been a valued piece for me these last couple of years, the components of how it is showcasing a comprehensive, sequential, data-driven program, and then also ended with some feedback from you that I received about a year ago, but also updated feedback that we asked for in the fall. So that was our fall recap. Objectives for this presentation. Today, I would like to go over with you our year in review. So again, those program goals and updates we have so far. I would also like to go over Boost that we did do last August, but then of course we'll do again this August. Also, Tiger Way and character and leadership initiatives, reviewing our counseling website, and again, receiving feedback on a few important questions that we would like, again, your feedback on. So if you guys remember back to the fall meeting, our program goals actually were a little different than these 3 here. When I mentioned in the fall video that we had some changes, obviously, with our student management system from Infinite Campus to PowerSchool, the way that we export and look at data also changed. And with PowerSchool, it's actually been a little trickier. It's been harder to pull accurate attendance data. Some of it is done, obviously, by hand, so If people do that differently, there could just be some human error with that. But again, we realized we were missing some pieces, and so we actually have updates. These numbers have changed a little bit. So again, our first goal regarding attendance, we're hoping that the number of students who accrued 16 or more absences last school year will decrease by 20%, from 86 students last year to 69 this year. That would be that 20% decrease. That number, again, increased once we had more accurate attendance data. And we also changed it from 12 or more absences to 16, because 16 is closer to that chronic place where more chronic absences are 16 to 18 per school year. And again, our second goal for academics, this is actually the same. However, now we have some accurate numbers because our fall meeting was at the end of October, so we didn't have the number of DNFs. And so I will show you the results from that. It's pretty exciting. And again, our last one regarding attendance but closing the gap, the 8th grade students who were 7th graders last year, and again, that accrued 16 or more absences during the previous school year, we want to reduce that cumulative number of absences by 20%. So from a total of 848 absences to 678. And again, 27 of those 32 students are returning. Some of those kiddos have moved, whether to homes or outside the district. And so obviously that will look a little different. But again, that is our focus for closing that gap. So with our first one with the attendance, and this is big picture, this is all students, 7th through 9th grade, who accrued 20 or 16 or more absences. Our update, what we have so far, because again, this school year isn't over, so we don't have that final number, but in reviewing the attendance data from first semester, looking at cumulative absences alone, we are down 22% from last year. The returning 8th and 9th grade students who had 16 or more absences were cumulatively absent 773 days first semester in the 16-17 school year, and those same students were absent 600 days this first semester of this school year. So this group is showing improvement in their chronic attendance from last year. However, we are still monitoring because other students have become more chronic in their attendance, not just this group that, again, we're looking at. So we had a correction in the goal, but we also have an update that's showing that we are only meeting that decrease of 20% so far. Now, looking at the academic, this is what's exciting. This goal, wow, we like blew it out of the water. So we went from 115 Ds and Fs at the end of Q1 to 41 Ds and Fs at the end of first semester. And the great thing about those Ds and Fs, I don't know if there is a great thing about Ds or Fs, but they weren't necessarily regarding a lot of core subjects. And so more were elective classes. But again, we surpassed the 10% goal and reduced DNF letter grades by 64%. So obviously, I think I probably didn't make the goal as high as we could have because I was a little worried how the standards-based grading, how that would change a little bit. But again, at 64%, that's incredible. So great job, Peet team. Now with our closing the gap, again, we're not done with the school year, so we don't know their final attendance, but as an update and reviewing attendance data from first semester, looking at cumulative absences alone, we are down 24% from last year. The returning 8th grade students who had 16 or more absences were cumulatively absent 411 days first semester last year. And those same students were absent 313 days this first semester of this school year. So the group is showing an improvement in chronic attendance from last year. However, again, we still need to monitor other students as they become more chronic with their attendance. So again, we're on track. We're doing very well, I would say, but still need to finish strong. So now, again, I would like to review Boost, our 7th grade transition program. This has been an incredible program that I feel like has been built up, and Josh Green has done a phenomenal job, whether in communicating, organizing, I mean, in all areas, he has just done a phenomenal job. Last year alone, we had 95% of our incoming 7th graders in attendance. I mean, that's just incredible. And again, out of the 4 days, not that we had 95% attendance all 4 days, but definitely that first day, that's a great way to get that school year started with those kiddos transitioning. So to give you updates from, this is again, part of that data-driven piece, I wanted you to see the data results that we got from our lesson that we did with Boost. And I'm gonna show you what that lesson is here in a little bit, and maybe it would actually be good for me to show you what that is first, actually, hold on, I might have to exit this, go to the presentation here. Okay, so to show you what we did at Boost last year, and again, we haven't necessarily decided if we should do this again for Boost this year, and this is probably what I would like your feedback on as well. Those of you who are familiar with our students and our Tiger Way initiative that we're going to be getting into. As you can see, we talked about the Tiger Way. This is what we were kicking off the school year with, teaching our 7th graders what the Tiger Way manners were, those 6 locations that we are focusing on behavior, not just for students, but as well as staff as well. And so you can see that we had videos for each one. We have our posters. We went through that, what students will do, what staff will do, what you would hear and see. Then we also, I took another 2 days to teach students growth mindset. And to my great surprise, a lot of our 6th grade teachers did a great job already teaching our students about growth mindset. So some of those students definitely had a good start to that. And so, and then Mrs. Kinzer did a couple days on organization. And so I don't have those lessons here. But again, that was a really great way for those students to start the school year. Now to go back and show you our results from that, let me see here. I need to be able to get back to this presentation, I believe. Oh no, that's me. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay, so now that we are going back, okay, sorry, I'm recording this, but I want to make sure the screen is being shared and that you can see what I'm trying to present to you. Okay, I think I have it now. Okay, so looking at our data from here, you will see that we have the online. We gave them a pre-test on the first day, a post-test on the last day. As you can see, the questions that we had, they're based from our learning objectives, and those learning objectives are based on our Ask a Mindset and Behavior standards. I kind of went over those briefly in the fall meeting, but again, they're all linked. So we want to see their growth in perception data. We want to see growth in belief or attitude, knowledge, and skill. So you can see the first question, believe they are confident in their transition to P. You can see there was a 9.1 increase in attitude or belief. Going down to growth mindset, that's more skill-based, but again, 41.1% increase in skill. So you can see some students had a great foundation of growth mindset, but not all. So this is where we kind of brought everyone to the same page. Knows what it takes to be successful at Peet, and a part of that was just knowing the Tiger Way, what those behavior expectations are that will help them be successful. And then also we have the fact that the skill that they would be able to change a fixed mindset statement into a growth mindset, and that was almost a 50% increase in skill. No behavior expectations. So again, a lot of them felt like they knew those behavior expectations, but 100% by the end of the week. And then organization, we did have an increase in organizational skill as well. So those are results that I wanted to share with you. And again, sharing these results from our pre and post test, this is a part of that accountability piece, as a part of that graphic at the top, that we're being held accountable for our work as well. And this data shows impact and change that we've been able to create. And again, it takes a village. Definitely not something we're just doing. This is the impact of everyone as a part of that transition program in Boost. This year, Boost will be August 13th through 16th. And so again, we're trying to get your feedback. Should we do Tiger Way again? That's kind of something our Tiger Way committee will decide as well. Should we continue with growth mindset and organization? Those are all things that we would like your help with. Now, looking more at our Tiger Way initiative, this has been something that's new to this year. We did a lot of work last spring semester. And we've been able to do some great things when it came to, we have a couple staff videos that you will see played here. Things that we did to kind of bring back in the Tiger Way language, but with people who students have in class, maybe they have as a coach. So we are helping students kind of, again, be familiar with that Tiger Way language, why we value it, why it's important. This video specifically kind of talked from 3 coaches that a lot of students would have, and talked about why Tiger Way manners and behavior is important on the court and off the court. Donna Mallon does a great job of talking about the importance of our words in this bottom video. And again, these were shown during our character counts lessons. Um, um, there we go. So you can see a little bit here. Whoops, I'm trying to pause it. Oh, you guys are probably just laughing as you watch this and see me do that. Okay, so again, this is an example of a couple of the ways we've been continuing to kind of revive that Tiger Way throughout the year, just to bring it to the forefront of students, the way they behave, the way they act. Also, I want to show you guys now moving from that Tiger Way initiative, and again, we're meeting as a committee on April 11th, hoping to figure out how do we want to close the year? How do we want to end the year? We know that the feedback we got from students on the first day of school is that they felt like majority of kids thought the Tiger Way would really help them improve their behavior, that it was a good cause. So again, we had some good buy-in, but now just continuing to keep it at the forefront that this is something that we still do and will do. Now moving into our character leadership initiative, this is something we've also tried to get more buy-in from staff. So staff who are committed to doing these lessons each Monday of the month. This example is coming from January when we focused on resiliency. Again, these 10-minute lessons are created by school counselors. They're shared with staff, and it's, 10 minutes that briefly kind of talks about something, giving information, awareness, identifying what it is, and then there's usually like a short video that kind of goes with it that in some aesthetic way or visual way, it kind of brings that that lesson to life a little bit. So this one, we reflected on resilience, and students were able to see kind of 2 weeks of a TED Talks from Charles Hunt, who was very resilient based on his past, but he presented it in such an engaging way that we thought students would really have a lot of takeaways with that. And then we want to reflect, we want students to think so that they can kind of know where they're at and then continue to move forward, because it's inevitable in life that we will have hardships. And so we want to instill kind of grit and resiliency in our kids, that they're able to feel like they have a handle on how to be resilient through those hardships. So you can see this is part of that resilience lesson in January. And so again, we kind of want you guys to, a lot of you've been integral in helping us get that buy-in from telling teachers this is why it's important that it takes all of us to do social emotional learning. And so we appreciate your help with that effort, and we are going to continue and try to make these lessons better and more relevant to our students and our school needs. Now we want to move towards our Peet School Counseling website. This is something I would really like your feedback on. We're going to click here to go to our website. Now, a lot of people, I don't know how much traffic our website gets, to be honest, but again, it's a good piece to have that provides information, we're hoping, but also is a stopping place for a lot of resources. As you can see, we have a picture of the 3 of us. We have some descriptions, get to know us a little bit, and then that junior high curriculum presentation I shared with you in the fall meeting is also attached down here. Now you can see our other pages. We talk about careers, information that students can have. A lot of our career speakers we had a couple years ago, these are all links to their videos. And so that's kind of an exciting piece to have this stored somewhere that's easily accessible for students. Career cruising is our big college awareness, career exploration piece. These are our presentations we use with 8th and 9th grade. So you can see those in rotation. Again, those kind of update each year. Our student groups, this is probably one that we don't have as updated as much. LEAD, I don't have a separate website for LEAD. Student Council, I do, but again, it's hard to find time to continue to update that. So this is probably the one tab that needs more attention and love. New student information, Katie's done a great job of trying to help us put some information here if parents are searching for what to do with new students on the Peet website. ISCA is our state organization, so it's a piece of ASCA. Obviously, ASCA is American School Counselor Association, and ISCA is the Iowa School Counselor Association. So our state association holds a conference every November. These are the presentations that I have presented at ISCA, And so I have those as links and resources for people who attend that presentation but want more information, or maybe people who weren't able to attend. They can be led to this page for more information. Sound bites, these are just a few of the sound bites we have put in our parent newsletters. And so this is, again, kind of a holding space for some of those, where if parents are looking for resources, that we have them kind of stored here. And RAMP, this is, again, some of what I went over with you in the fall meeting. What is RAMP, why we are ramping, but then part of our belief statements, our vision, our mission, our program goals, which are updated, all right? And then also it kind of shows our advisory council in the fall. This is the presentation I shared there, so I'll add spring after today. But again, this is a place to showcase as an advocacy tool, a place to inform. We want to share out what we're doing, what we're about, and so this is kind of a place to do that. So again, kind of looking for your feedback if there's anything that we are missing as a part of this website that you think would be helpful for staff, for students, for teachers. And so again, this is kind of where we want your feedback for that. Okay, so now looking, I want to go back and share screen. We are almost done with our presentation. Oh, hold on, if I can get to it here. Okay. This kind of open forum feedback. Okay, so the questions we would like your feedback, your continued feedback on: what we're doing well, what are our counseling program strengths, what we spend too much time doing, and what are the 3 most important issues facing our Peet students. So we'd like your feedback to determine what areas we need to focus for the upcoming school year. Now, to show you feedback we already received from some of those questions, again, we want more because now it will be a different school year. Some things that we're doing well, our strengths. Some people mentioned our accessibility to students, our connection with students, which I think that's positive feedback. I appreciate that. Peer group opportunities, advocating for students, opportunities for leadership and growth, helping students navigate the junior high years, having positive attitudes. Thanks to whoever wrote that. We certainly try. So you can see a parent responded to this one, that they felt their daughter was supported. And again, part of involving stakeholders, it's not just people we work with. These are students and parents that we're asking this feedback from, just because, again, we value your different perspectives within the system, and it takes a village. It takes our whole system to kind of keep this all working. And so you each bring to the table a great perspective based on your background, based on your knowledge, your content area, your strengths, how you collaborate with us. And so we're looking to bring all those perspectives together and get this feedback so we can keep kind of maximizing our potential as a program too, and our impact on kids. So again, a lot of people talked about just an inviting office, developing relationships with kids. Some of our, personality is a part of that, women's leadership, communication with high school counselors. So again, we really appreciate that positive feedback and comments on counseling program strengths. If you feel like you have any to add to that, we'd really love to hear that. And growth areas as well, not just the positives, but the growth areas as well. Spend too much time going to meetings. Sometimes I would agree with that. This is good feedback. Sometimes students take advantage of maybe going to the office to escape from classes. That's really good feedback because we do not want that to happen. We're not going to enable it. We don't want to encourage it, but it could happen. Let me see, scheduling. And I would say this season, it is so busy with scheduling. And so I would agree, sometimes it's too bad that takes away time from kids. So again, anything you would add to that? Do we spend too much time doing something that you think it would be important for us to know so we're aware and we can make changes? Now, the 3 most important issues facing our Peet students. A lot of you said mental health, family dysfunction, academic stress, kids needing consistency and structure, being able to work together, balance activities. You can see some comments. Again, students are a part of this. Healthy decision making, how to maintain and be a good friend, navigating student climate and culture. Again, hopefully part of that's with our Tiger Way initiative, balancing multiple roles so that they can be successful in the classroom and outside, substance abuse by some, navigating the media, So again, looking at when we receive this feedback, aligning it with what are we doing this next school year, which would be this year, to address these issues that our stakeholders feel are important issues with our kids. And so I hope that some of the curriculum, some of the large group curriculum, the small groups address some of these concerns. And if you want to know how, I would love to sit down and talk to you about that. Being prepared for the next step, high school, our transition, those social emotional skills. We focused a lot on social emotional learning this year, and I appreciate other people coming alongside valuing that piece as well. So again, we want to know, is there anything else that you would add to this as part of the feedback on those 3 questions? So again, you guys, we appreciate your time. I know that it takes time to sit and listen to this, even if you're listening to it in the background of working on something else. I appreciate that. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. And I appreciate, again, your time, your commitment to kids. We appreciate you collaborating with us and kind of working alongside us to create this positive impact with kids. Thank you again for viewing this and kind of being a part of this team that I value so much with your feedback and your work. So I hope you guys have a great spring and a great rest of the school year. And again, thank you so much for being a part of the fall and spring advisory team. And we'll see you next year as well.